All right, Cyber Traders, I think we are good to go here. So welcome on aboard this Wednesday, May 24th, shortly after 9 a.m. Eastern Time. You can tell this is not Fausto Pugliese. Tagging in from this morning, Josh Levitan here. Great to see John, Ron, Andre, Bell, Ray, Dan, Wayne, who killed it just before in pre-market. A couple of us did, in fact, John as well. But Ravina, Leda, and all of us just here inside our live trading room. Great to have all of us back there and all of us back on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, the works. So Fausto's actually taking a little time off. I know he has his son graduating over the weekend. So well wishes to the Pugliese family with that. So, hey, right now, pre-market, we've had a phenomenal push so far, not just on this GCT. We've had the ENVB trade as well. We've had a couple of others, KSS coming off good earnings. So there's a lot to talk about this morning. Actually, before this meeting started, we'll talk about this GCT to start. I just saw some of the most incredible patterns on level 4. Really, we've been using it for the last 4.5 years, Fausto and myself, all of our students here at Cyber Trading. This is pretty crazy. So let me bring this up right now. Obviously, GCT made a hell of a pop early this morning off of some sort of news. I didn't even care to check. Ended up leading to a huge pop. And unfortunately, this really didn't make as big of a pullback as I was expecting. So me personally, I did not take part in this GCT trade at first. I was looking for the breakout over 10 and ended up making that push there, but I was kind of caught slipping. I was looking at a different trade, but here at this point, GCT, check this out. This is like a fighter pilot. This is pretty insane. I've never really seen something that consistent before. We see ladders all the time, Fausto and myself on the bid and the ask. But you had this big 30,000 share order on the ask at 1250. Look how clear that is. That is so smooth and all in kind of just one motion. It has to be some sort of program algorithmic trading with that in mind. I mean, this doesn't get any steadier than that, really, as far as seeing that order move lower and lower and lower in price. And what happened since? Well, it kind of topped off there, and now it's kind of going sideways, kind of consolidating. And really with that, with as much as it's already up 89%, granted, this could be where we begin to see this pull back a lot further. So going into the open, we'll definitely be inclined to follow this GCT trade. Let me see if I could do this, Tim. I'm not going to do this across the whole board. I got a couple lines here on this chart, though. So that's the other one, the MVP. There we go. So whole number levels are going to play to your advantage here on this trade, given how much it already ran up and just how fast it ran up. So with that, that's where you see 8, 9, 10, 11, and above 12, etc. There was a bit of a print that came in from what I recall now, right off of 790. I think it was about like a 25,000 or so share buy print. So on a larger pullback, perhaps that could be a stronger support level. It was about 13,000+ shares. Given at least the overall volume early in the morning, that still is pretty big. So with that, hey, definitely going to put this on our watch list. You could probably even use like a fib on this, if anything, just given the run up it had. I probably won't, just don't want to clutter up my charts too much there. But yeah, we'll come back to this chart. Otherwise, we'll kind of repaste that and see what else we have, though, for the meantime. We have others like EEIQ, ENVB, like we had said, KSS coming off earnings. Now, I do want to go over a couple that we ended up catching from yesterday, though. If you'd missed out yesterday inside our live trading room, we had a couple of really good moves on the way up. Early in the morning, we had the Palantir trade, PLTR. Making a bit of a move down right now, down over 4% right now. So it could be a good short, has been seemingly, but it led to a big pop yesterday morning. It's been squeezing up pretty nicely from really last week in full coming off their earnings. So it's been a great day trade, great swing trade in hindsight too. But, once again, yesterday morning led to a huge pop out the gate off of 12, ended up re-breaking off of 1280. And, really from that point made like a 75-80 cent push up higher. So topped off at 1350. It pulled back down from there. And again, heading into the open today, still could be on our radar, on our watch list there, just more as a side list stock. Wow, TradeStation this morning has Carvana shares shortable, easy to borrow this morning. That's pretty surprising. Led to another big pop, though, once again today, or yesterday, I should say, CVNA, much like Palantir, another stock from yesterday morning that we took full advantage of. A cheaper stock here that was on the pre-market list, the main morning watch list, SHPH. It was more of a late bloomer, ended up kind of consolidating at first and then ended up popping pretty nicely going into 10 o'clock, 10:30, and then even higher heading into, late morning, early afternoon session there. But take a look at the daily chart. It speaks for itself. And with that, take a look to see what happened just throughout the remainder of the day. This giant ass upwick. So, you don't want to be stuck holding on to that trade throughout the duration of the late morning. It's okay to leave money on the table. If you leave money on the table, it goes to show that you're at least taking money off the table. That's kind of my philosophy about it. Now, either way, this ended up just dumping all the way back down And yeah, probably will fill the gap here. Already has for the most part, actually, down over 16% today, but probably keep dropping off at this point. Another stock that we did well on yesterday, it's actually number 2 on the losers list, so similar to this SHPH. We saw this thing make a crazy afternoon move. Thankfully, we got out just in the nick of time here. The CWBR, so this one also from yesterday, just really quickly. Pre-market pop ended up pushing up pretty well at the time from 2 up towards 5 just about. More so heading into the mid-afternoon, led to the big pop here. And, hey, a lot of us, myself included, ended up missing out on the mid-afternoon pop. Really, we're not really trading during that time. So it caught us off guard and by surprise, but we were looking for the higher high heading into the close. I was pretty reluctant with putting this on our main list because for as much as it traded throughout the day, if it makes a false breakout, it's going to lead to that type of drop-off like you just saw on the SHPH. Maybe easy to say in hindsight, but otherwise, though, what actually ended up happening was we caught this in the afternoon. It broke over this big level. I still have up on my chart at 580. It led to a great entry. Now, I say that full-fledged knowing what happened after. But in the chat board, I even wrote, it's just a good time to take some money right around 630, 635. And that's what I ended up doing. Well, what I still ended up doing was I had my stop set break even on the second batch, the second half of my trade. I normally don't move it up unless if it really keeps going. Like once I'm out of the proverbial doghouse, so to say, that's where I'll look to move my stop up and make sure I at least get some profit on the second half. I already took profit on the first half there. Well, it's easy to say all of this now because what the hell happened after, right? I mean, as much as I wanted more and I was going to raise my stop up, well, the thing just completely crashed right back down pretty unexpectedly and took me out break even on the second half completely. So, well, what happened after? Ended up just kind of consolidating, dropped off lower in the after hours there. And obviously, you don't want to turn a big winner into a big loser. Fausto went over that in our introductory to day trading webinar just yesterday. We have a couple of clips on our YouTube channel with that as well. But, again, this is like rule number 1 here, right? You always have to reiterate this, though. We always have new members joining us each and every day, each and every week. So, all right. Now with that, let's go from top to bottom now. We actually have a little update on GCT. So let's actually jump back to that. Number 1 on our watch list heading into the open still. And still kind of holding here, but on level 4, actually a bit of an update. We had that like fighter pilot plane, but we ended up seeing a big print get filled, not extremely large, but another 10,000 or so shares at 1075. So 1075 just in particular could be a pretty big level to complement 11 once the market does open. A little update there. All right, so what else we got though? EEIQ, this was a dud after 8 o'clock, and I took my eyes off it for a little while since, and even more of a dud. Ended up just kind of consolidating after the 8 o'clock move. He had these big bars at first, but these are more flashes, perhaps just late prints that may have come in or dark pools that could be coming in there. But, well, oftentimes what I see with these longer up ones is what happens after. You actually see more of a drop-off. Don't make that a full-fledged guarantee rule, but that's just something I've seen somewhat more recently. So not a surprise, really, to see this kind of pull back further, I should say. But yeah, heading into the open, maybe this can make like another pop, another bounce back up. I don't mind like still kind of putting this on our side list at first and then checking back in with it at the end here. I definitely don't like the trend, right? But given the liquidity and just overall kind of just how inexpensive the stock is, this could still be in play at some point throughout the day. Ryan saying here in the chat board, asking, would you consider GCT to be a category 3 stock in terms of volatility? At least, I mean, probably more towards 4 to 5, given how fast it already ran up. And then the spread we'll likely see when the market opens there, Ryan. Very good question, though. I always love these types of questions because it helps you gauge, what a level 2 stock is, level 4, whatever, in terms of volatility. But just given how fast it popped and ran from pre-market there, I would say at least probably 4 plus. So just based on the spread, it's either going to be a 4 or 5 with that. All right, so what else we got here? Neil saying GCT earnings before the market open. There we go. That's the news on it. So nice heads up from Neil there. Let's see what else we have. EEIQ we had talked about. All right, so ENVB pulling back. All right, so this might be making the move down towards my 379 support level. I was typing in the chat board here. So for the ENVB trade, another stock, I took the time to map out some levels heading into the open. Just shortly after it topped off at 455, I'd logged into the live trading room. This was really the first call out I made on my morning once I logged in. It said ENVB big levels at 450 and 456. And with that, it was all based off delta and bookmap here. So just kind of seeing 450, 456 right there. Well, what happens when it fails to break higher? There's only one other way the stock's going to go. So, that's where I was kind of anticipating that pullback to happen. Now at this stage, the question is, do we have support to hold, or is this just going to completely dump? And that's it. So that's what we need to figure the answer out to there. 4 could be support given a whole number, but it wouldn't shock me if 379, that skinny white line there, is the bottom. I was kind of calling that out just earlier in pre-market there. So yeah, we'll see if we can make that move. I'll definitely put this on our main list with that GCT trade. All right, current time 9:11 right now, 9:12. So just want to make sure all of our students and myself have enough time to prep and get ready here. We'll kind of minimize this screen again. All right, so SMFL, not bad. I mean, moving back on up a little bit here. Looks like it had a bit of a gap up in pre-market early and pulled back, but trying to move back up again here. And for right now, not bad liquidity. Hopefully it fills in a lot more. Seems like a pop and drop stock though, just looking at the daily chart. So if it fails to make that higher high, then definitely watch out. But I'll add that to our list too. Not bad for the meantime. You got these retail stocks or retail clothing store stocks, coming out with earnings. Abercrombie and Fitch, which I always mix up with FTCH, Fitch, and ANF, Abercrombie and Fitch. So ANF coming off earnings, I believe, here too. If not, maybe just sympathetic with KSS earnings. But yeah, Kohl's. This is the one I'd be more interested in following. Not only is it making a new high right now, but this actually just re-broke live right now over a key resistance. I don't have this lined up, but I wrote this in the chat board earlier when Leda called out saying, hey, KSS looking good off earnings. I wrote in the chat board at like 8:51. I said, KSS big level at, what was that at? 2176. Just going to repost that there in the chat board for all of us right now. So with that, hey, once it ended up re-breaking over 2175, 2176, easy to say, but you should expect a big move shortly after, right? So not bad. I like that. Mike's saying Macy's with it too. Yeah, I mean, kind of same pattern as the ANF there. I'd rather KSS at that point. We don't need to trade them all. And, KSS just seems like the best opportunity. PHIO, not a bad call out at first, but obviously died off pretty quick. So, maybe I'll write this down for the side list here, but not really too keen to follow it right now. Urban Outfitters, another clothing store stock. Don't need to trade them all. Nordstrom, don't need to trade them all. What else we got? Boyle, hey, ETF, but inching back on up a little bit. It's very tradable. Question is it going to be really worth our time? It's pretty slow. So, if it was up more, moving maybe a tiny bit faster, I'd be definitely more interested. But let's see what else we got here from the loser side. We're already below 5% on the gainers. So there could be more that's down big this morning here with the market. We'll just take a look. You got the NVTS trade down big. It's a semiconductor stock. That's what I could see in the name. So perhaps similar industry as AMD, Micron, Nvidia, etc. NVTS though down big, probably based off earnings. If not, then otherwise some other news that led to a big drop. But yeah, shortable, and that's what matters most here. It's actually tradable on the way down from TradeStation this morning. Looks like there's already a big historical level. It's kind of just approaching. It's not going to be perfect either. It's just kind of more of a rounded top, but kind of roughly within the vicinity of like 714-ish, 720-ish, and look at where it's at now. So it's pretty darn close. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind adding this to our main list for right now. I just hope the spread fills in, or the order book fills in a lot more. If it doesn't, then I'll probably just move away from it, but we'll give it a look at first there. GNL, pass on that. IONQ has been a very solid day, Joan. It's been a very solid trade altogether. Swing on the way up, just back from April time, but really as a day trade from really mid of last week, we started calling it out. So on the way up, yesterday on the way down even more here this morning, and it is shortable. So you know what? Actually, I don't mind this one. I just saw what I saw right there. I didn't notice NEO down over 5% this morning. Take a look at that. It's just so slow though nowadays. It's just really stagnant. Had a great day yesterday. Because I'm so pessimistic about it nowadays, I missed it. But it was actually a decent trade yesterday on the way up. But yeah, I mean, could be a decent short heading into the open, but otherwise I feel like we could have our focus on maybe just a more volatile trade, even if it's not down more. Palantir could be a better stock perhaps, I feel. Take a look at a couple other trades here in the meantime. AI, we'll take a look at Shopify. We'll take a look at that Carvana trade, which is shortable. I said that before. Take a look at PACW, which we've been absolutely demolishing this week. It's hard to borrow, but on the way down right now, that could be in play for after the open at some point. Samuel here saying these semis have been flying in the last few weeks, and with the market downturn, the semis should be the ones to drop since they have flown so fast. Half glass full, half glass empty. How strong do you think it is in relation to the market? If you think that now is the point where it shows a lot of weakness, then it should look to tank further compared to the markets. But this will be a telling point. Yeah, it ended up having a really strong run up in the last few weeks, but what if we continue to see good momentum across those semis? If anything, perhaps maybe it'll just consolidate at this stage a little bit better compared to the market drop off, but we'll have to react and find out, right? You got to prep your levels at least. So, for right now, we have 5 stocks to work with. We got that GCT, the ENVB, the KSS, SMFL, and then that last one, NVTS there, the short. All right, so let me know if there's anything else though, folks. Otherwise, up, down, left, or right, more than 5% that you'd want me to check out or just look at here briefly. Got a bad hair day, so I got the hat on right now. That's okay. What else we got here? I said I'd go back to EEIQ. I said I'd go back to PHIO. Both of which aren't really doing it for me here. I mean, if PHIO order book fills in more and it pops over 5 after the open, then we'll call it out. But for right now, I'd focus on the others. All right, folks, I think that we're just about good to go. I had my Benzinga Pro up. I think it's on this screen here. Just give me a quick sec. If it's not, then unfortunately, then we'll just do without it. That's all right. Yeah. All right. So I just pulled it up right now. Lastly, it takes a little while to load, so I didn't know how much time we'd have left. But first and foremost, for all of us on YouTube, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, and all of our social media streams, as my Benzinga Pro continues to load, I always post my email address here at the end of these streams whenever I tag in for Fausto, and certainly when I do the afternoon meetings myself, josh@c2trading.com. So if you wanted to just send over any trades or any questions you'd want us to go through with you on the side, feel more than free to do so. There's my email address there for that. But otherwise, just if you're interested in joining us, continuing the audio commentary inside our live trading room, just go right down to the link on the green banner below the stream right there to get yourself set up or started. Now, scanner time. CYTO, we'll take a look at here. There we go. I'm happy that we ended up pulling up Benzinga. CYTO, definitely going to put on our watch list for right now. Popped actually prior to 9 o'clock. I don't know how I didn't find this beforehand. Maybe I was just kind of quickly going from top to bottom as this was going from bottom to top. But either way, definitely good play for right now. CYTO. Just right away add that to our list. And then otherwise, I think that's just about it. Nothing else I really see that looks really good, folks. So, hey, we'll call it for right now. Hey, for all of us in social media, lastly, be a friend, tell a friend. Just make sure that you like and subscribe right on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/cybertradingu, to know at least when we're going live for our audio and audio broadcasts in our morning and afternoon meetings. We'll post a couple of clips of our workshops just intermittently throughout the weeks on our YouTube channel as well. So it always pays to be a subscriber. Always pays even furthermore to be a member inside our live trading room too. So for Michael and for Leda and Sam and Wayne and for all of us there live, I'm just going to refill up on water here, but I'll be good to go coming up in just about 10, 11, 12 minutes here for the market open. Talk to you all pretty soon. Take care.